I never think about the keywords initially. What are the topics of the people that want to use my software? There's like a massive amount of opportunities that yet open up, and not on the content side of things, but on the creation side of things, like a new tool, a new product, develop like your own app. All of that is happening.
Is SEO dying? Is content still working? What do people think?
A lot of people are afraid of like going for these big topics or keywords or whatever. And I always tell them, but don't be. TikTok search is becoming better. Instagram just announced that they are going to start improving their search. So SEO is not going away. It's actually multiplying across the world. YOLO SEO. Let's do it.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Ship It and Sip It. I'm glad to be back in the studio, and today I have Flavio Amiel. He is the founder of the SEO agency called SWAT SEO and the co-founder of Swiftbrief, which is an SEO product. I had the other co-founder, Stefan Worth, on the pod last year, probably 8-9 months ago, where we didn't talk very much about SEO. But today we're going to talk about SEO a lot because Flavio is the man. If you don't follow him on X, please do. You've been sharing so much about SEO for ever since I started following you, Flavio. But how I always start these episodes is, what have you shipped recently that people should check out?
So recently I'm like focused on my community. It's called Rank and Cache. I noticed there's a lot of gaps in the SEO industry, like in knowledge. So I'm trying to bridge that gap with what I know. Of course, there's many SEO angles and many type of SEO and etc. So it's like a very big puzzle to put together. So I'm trying to do that in my community.
Cool. And when you say community, what does that look like? Do you have a Discord group? Do you have a newsletter? What's that?
It's a school, like the Alex Hormozzi like thing, like the
School with a
school.
K.
Yeah.
Okay.
I host 1 or 2 workshops per month for people in the community and outside of the community as well. If you get in my newsletter, you get the notification. And we have like office hours. You can interact with me, like ask me questions, something like that. Also there, and I'm trying to bring more SEO people as well inside the community because I don't have all the answers. I have some of them. I think a good SEO should be well-rounded in and know different things. Actually, like every entrepreneur should be getting acquaintance with SEO, like with the different aspects of it.
Cool. How long have you had the school community?
The school community per se, it's been like maybe 6, 7, 8 months more or less. And I've been doing workshop like over the last year and a half. So it's kind of like it's just an organic process. It's not something that I'm pushing or whatever, but it's something that I like doing a lot because I like creating content. I like educating. It just comes natural to me, and I cannot keep my mouth shut when I see new things. So I'm like always oversharing, almost sometimes things that I discover or things that I see or things that someone tells me. So it's a good way to channel that into a way that is more productive because sometimes I think like Twitter or X, the information gets lost. So it's a good container of like organized ways to educate or get more information or whatever.
Very cool. I actually didn't know that you had that, so I'll check it
Yeah,
out.
it's kind of secret.
Yeah. Secret SEO school. Well, awesome. I guess, do you have any specific topics coming up that you want people might be interested in joining to see in the workshops?
Yeah, I think I want to do a day-long workshop for people managing SEO teams. Like there's a lot of like content marketing people that they like suddenly like SEO comes, uh falls in the laps and they don't know what to do with that, or they kind of know, so they have to study a lot, and it's because it's a very big puzzle to put together. I think doing like a big workshop can help like SEO manager or content managers to build a better content flow for their SEO and then manage that process to also use that for other things, because one of the things that I notice is a lot of people do SEO and they don't do anything else with that content. And it's so easy to just reuse it because SEO has what the other formats don't. Blogs, long form, etc. Super different than X, where you just do like a tweet. So you can like take all that information and reuse it in your newsletter, your Instagram, etc. So I think there's a lot that you can do with SEO that SEO don't talk about, because that's not SEO. But I think it's a good way to go about it.
For sure. All right, you've been doing this for almost 20 years, which, is a long time for anyone in tech to stay within one niche. I'm curious, what is one idea or tactic or guiding principle that was true when you started out in SEO and you still have like, this is what I do today?
So I started doing SEO by accident. I'm originally from Venezuela. I live in Portugal, but I started there and I studied journalism. And in journalism, I remember like taking classes of wireframing newspapers, for example. So you will say like the headlines, the main headlines and you're seeing, and then how you can like, well, different type of thing. But for example, let's talk about influencing, the people that are reading. So, like there's this bias in every newspaper where you are like either left or right or whatever it might be. And then they show you how to do the wireframes in a way that you reinforce your message, kind of. So you have like the main headlines, and the things that are surrounding that are supposedly going to influence public opinion. And there's like all the other stuff of newspapers, like the sports sections, the economy, politics, blah blah blah. So I come from that world of how do we organize the content. And so that's my background, and I think that's what many people don't do, like many SEOs don't do. The pros, I think they take it into consideration, but most of the people are just winging it, right? Like just like, okay, let me post like 100 blogs, and one maybe or two pop up, and then yeah, I got a lot of traffic here, etc. So I think like content architecture is one of those things that if you apply to this disorganized system, it's going to enhance it. It's going to make it better. It's going to improve your rankings. It's going to improve readability. It's going to improve crawlability, which is like the Google bots coming into your site and understanding it, and indexing all the pages, etc. So I think that would be like the fundamental for me, content architecture. And everything that is technical is like also in the newspapers, what is the how many points you have in the font, what type of font are you going to use, what kind of image you are going to use, what is the intro, etc. So I think all of that applies to SEO, because it just makes readability easier, not only for the reader in the case of a newspaper, but in the case of Google, in this case, how Google or now LLMs are going to consume that information. So I think that's fundamentally it. I think there's also another thing is like the business. What is the business? And starting at the right point. So what I mean by that is like, I don't know the reason, but a lot of people start SEO at the periphery instead of in the epicenter. So if you start in the epicenter of your business, you're not just like a lot of people say like, oh, try to do like a very long tail keyword, blah, blah, blah. And they try to go to that keyword that is just so far beyond your business that it doesn't make sense to me. And I think a lot of people do that. And I don't know the reason, but they should start at the epicenter of your business and start working and maybe expanding from there if you want to get to the periphery. But you start at the epicenter because that's where the money is. So I think like this combination of like content structure, content architecture, how you're going to, how do you influence your visual, your consistency in your site, plus making sure that you're like actually focusing on your business and not doing something else. I think those two things might be what I look at the most instead of other things.
Let's stick with that content keyword selection for a minute. From my understanding, those long tail keywords that if you're a newer startup, you might want to target them because competition is lower. They may fit exactly the one or two use cases that you're building your product around. And if you focus on, let's say for Clipwing, since I'm doing content there, like if we just tried to target video editing, we'd be going up against, CapCut, Photoshop, DaVinci Resolve, like these massive players that our product doesn't exactly match them. We don't have those capabilities, and definitely we don't have the domain authority to rank anywhere near the first page. So are we off on that thought, or what do you
So
think?
my question will be, what is Clipwing and what does it do?
Well, it's a simple video editing platform, um, and also an agency that provides video editing. So there are a couple different things there.
So like thinking content structure, the first thing that I would do is just separate those two, for example. So make sure that people understand that these are two things. So I don't know how you do it, but what is the homepage about, for example? Is it about the pod? Do you have like some disambiguation? Like, do you enter and say like, hey, where do you want to go, to the agency or the platform? That will be like the main thing. And then the rest of the thing is like, what is the editing platform about? What does it do?
It takes long videos and it makes an easy transcript based editor where, like, I could take 60 seconds of our transcript from our conversation today and cut like 30 seconds from here, 30 seconds a little bit later, and a 10-second hook, and put it all together very quickly, very easily. Not have to deal with the timeline of a more complex video editor. It does that all sort of in the background.
Love it. So you put like a video, then it just cut it, and or maybe it does the whole video, and then it gives you the transcript, and then you decide what you want to do, to use it for. Like it is like a sport to social media,
Yeah,
or
yeah. Export
okay,
vertical for stories or reels, square for everywhere
right.
else. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So your first use case, like if you want to start at the epicenter, I think, is probably, well, maybe different angles, right? Like, but one of these is transcription.
Mhm.
And you say like, well, transcription is so difficult, right? Like everyone is going after that keyword, but you have to do it. A lot of people are afraid of like going for these big topics or keywords or whatever. And I always tell them, but don't be. Just to put an example, I once, for a long time, ranked for the keyword Paris, okay, like number one. And I'm not Wikipedia or TripAdvisor or any of that. I was just like a small travel guide that I did, and I got that. And the way it works is like Google is always looking at the history of your site. So if you keep changing your title and stuff, it's just like weird. But if you just like stick with one, then it's going to say like these guys have been there forever. They are always getting this backlink saying like these are like the Paris guy, the Paris guy, the Paris guy, etc. And you're not going to do less work, right? In the future, you're going to do more work. So the chances that you get a higher DR are very big. And why not play that game? Why don't play with the big ones? You can do it. So that will be the first things. And then, of course, I would say like there are like topics. I like playing with topics instead of keywords. In your case, it's that's going to be okay. I want to transcribe. You can say like these languages. Like you have like plenty of languages you can use, right? So you have plenty of opportunities there. I want to export a video for blah, Instagram, blah, 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 all the format and all of that. So that's one topic. One topic is transcription. The other one is like export to social media. This is the main topic. Then, or using social media. Then maybe you have something called like marketing, video marketing. So you have like talk about hooks and editing better and using this style or that style or example for the creators. So I would say like this is kind of like the thing that I want people to think about when they are building their SEO strategy, is not to think about the keywords, but the topic, and then start developing the topic. And now more like, okay, chirurgical, like, okay, let me see what keywords I try to tackle at the beginning. I don't know if that answers the question, but
Yeah. No, and I don't want it to turn into like a free consulting strategy for Clipwing. We already talked to the guys at Swiftbrief. I've been using the tool off and on, but thank you so much for that. And it illustrates your point well, especially with the Paris story. I think that should give writers like me like a little bit more confidence to sort of write around those topics. I like your framing of topics versus keywords as well. And so thanks for that. Back to Google. What has changed recently in the ranking algorithm or in SEO tactics over like the last year?
everything. We have gotten a lot of, well, there's a lot of drama on X about a lot of people losing their traffic, their old traffic, etc. I've been like also having a little bit of that drama on some of my personal projects because I have different travel guides, and what we are noticing is that we're trying to get rid of the middlemen, basically. Let me put an example. You were like in the case of travel, okay, like everyone can write a travel guide, but not everyone sells travel packages, for example. So actually, there's a very small portion of that. And what happens is that all these guys that were very, let's say, small agencies and things like that, they were not ranking. The ones that were ranking were the bloggers, because the business of the bloggers was to create that content and then derive all these people to these other like little and big platform, like big like Booking or Airbnb, but maybe also small travel agencies for travel to Africa or whatever. It's just like, so there were all these bloggers like basically owning the first page of Google. And it was one of my cases, like the travel guys. But I do also have a booking engine tour for selling tours, selling a tour platform, and that is going up. So my travel guides are going down, and my booking engine is going up. And you notice this across the board, and everyone, all the drama is like, yes, you were doing a review about, I don't know, uh, humidifiers. You were like have the best blog about it, but you didn't sell them. So Google is kind of like, okay, they are just like, they are good at what they do and all of that, but we want the direct answer. We want them to be directly connected to the person that is going to sell them the thing. So this is one of the things that we are seeing, of course, along with a lot of intellectual property drama in the AI overviews and things like that. Also a lot of real estate. For example, if you see travel, and I talk about that because every industry is different. But like the real estate of Google is like, if even if you're ranking number one for a commercial keyword like hotels in Warsaw, you're going to be like three scrolls away, because at the beginning it's going to be ad, then there are maps, then there's things to do, then the blah, and then just like after three scrolls you get to your one ranking number one search result. So it's been happening on that industry, and there are plenty of other industries where this is not happening, at least now. But I think like Google will try to, snatch it somehow.
That's interesting. And I guess it makes sense from a commercial perspective, like you said, to cut out the middleman. But at the same time, like there's something human about people writing about their travel experiences without a commercial interest. Like maybe that's just like the literature background that I sort of grew up with. My mom was a literature teacher, so like there's something valuable to me in that. Like, should all these bloggers that were writing really good blogs in and a given niche, should they be like applying to these companies to become their content writers instead of, or like trying to sell become a freelance blogger that sells content in this niche, if that's the
Hmm.
shift that is happening?
So the thing is that the incentive, like for example, I'm going to the literature part. If you wanted to write about travel and you do it for pleasure and to please others and etc., nothing, everything is fine, right? But the incentive of using an affiliate system are totally different when you start writing to make money.
Mhm.
Okay, because then comes a lot of people that just like recommend something because it has a huge commission,
Mhm.
you know. So this is like different from literature. It's commercial. It's like even though I'm writing about travel, but it's because I want to sell this
Yeah.
thing and I
Yeah.
want to get that commission. And I might like promote something that maybe it's not that good. Maybe there's a better option or whatever, you know. If you are going to promote something, make sure that you are like actually aligning the interests of your readers and not yours, right? On the part of someone trying to apply for working one of these direct companies, I'm not sure because it's like the wonder the wonders of doing your own work, owning your own time, making a lot more money than what you're going to get paid for in one of these companies. I don't think that I don't know. I don't know where that people is going to go to get some sort of like the same sense of freedom, let's say.
Yeah, I agree. It's an interesting time. All right. So we've talked about some of the changes already. One of my favorite things that you do on X is every Monday or Tuesday, you write a roundup of the 5 best SEO tweets that you found the week before.
Yeah.
And so you're very tuned into what people are writing and thinking about this. So, can we give a general overview? Is SEO dying? Is content still working? Is it messy? What do people think?
hmm Well, SEO is not dying. This is the first thing I want to address because you don't know how many people. I talk with a lot of people every week. Like, let's say, like somewhere between 50 to 100 new people every week on the DMs, on LinkedIn, etc. Trying to talk with them, see if we can help them with my SEO agency, etc. And let's say, like a big percentage, like 10% of these people are like, "Isn't SEO dead? Like, isn't everything is AI now?" But if you see like the graph of the amount of traffic that you get from ChatGPT, for example, which is like the main one. Let's say it's ChatGPT and Perplexity, I would say, are the main one. If you see the amount of traffic, there's been studies made by SparkToro, for example, where they say like you see the graph and it's like ChatGPT is before in terms of traffic before DuckDuckGo. Okay, but most people haven't ever heard about DuckDuckGo. You know,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like a very odd moment. So what's going on is like Google, Bing, etc. They are like they already have the information, right? Like if Google wanted tomorrow to just present a ChatGPT version of search, they will do it, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just like you cannot like change the behavior like this from one day to another. So
But can I
that
pause you on that point?
yeah.
Like, they're making most of their money off of ads. Like that, they would have to put the ads somehow into that chat, right? Like, they
Yeah.
can't kill search right now because that's their cash cow or one of them.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, I think like there are a lot of advantages for Google. So if they wanted tomorrow, and they are kind of doing it, they are forcing everyone that using uh, workspace, like the Gmail suite and all of that, to start using Gemini into their like everything is integrated now in the email on their drive, etc. So that's happening, and they are charging for that. So it's not like Google is going to die tomorrow. If you just think about like Google Maps, if you get tomorrow, they say like, "Hey, I'm going to charge you 20 euros per month." Would you pay them?
No, I don't drive
No,
anywhere.
you don't use Google Maps.
Uh, no, I mean, I don't have a car. I barely ever use it.
Okay, so you don't use it to walk around the city, transport in a new city or whatever.
Uh, Not enough to pay $20 a month.
Okay, no, for me it would be like I'm like I cannot do anything. I'll pay, you know. We use it a lot. Just to reviews like restaurants and stuff like that. We use
No,
it.
I understand. I have a young
So
family.
going back,
I don't go out
don't worry,
very often. I don't
don't
travel a
worry.
lot now.
Going back to the search question and if SEO is dead, it's like it's actually multiplying because now we want to optimize for LLMs. We are like, okay, how do maybe we will call it something else, but um, some of this data is being collected through Bing and then it's passed on to ChatGPT. Some of this data is collected by Google and is being passed on to Gemini, but all of these start in an indexing system, and all of us can kind of like, mm, how do you say, influence a little bit that influence that behavior. So it's kind of like it's not going away. But then also you have now TikTok search is becoming better. Instagram just announced that they are going to start improving their search. YouTube, etc. So SEO is not going away. It's actually multiplying across the world. So you want to see there's people using I never done it and I'm not really familiar, but there's people into TikTok SEO. They do that and they optimize for that. So it's actually like I always make this joke that it's like you have Amazon SEO, you have App Store SEO, you have Google Search SEO, and then you have YOLO SEO, like okay, let's do it.
Right. One thing that I noticed just this week in terms of Google and video, because you mentioned TikTok, on the homepage of the top of the SERP, you know how they have the tabs for like images, videos, etc. They added a new tab for short videos. And I saw this because I was looking at our YouTube analytics for this show, and I saw that in the last short I uploaded, I was getting a bunch of traffic from Google search. It wasn't coming from YouTube search. And you know how shorts, they will give you like a boost in the algorithm and then it flattens out? And this video flattened out, and then it just kept kind of gradually rising. I was like, where's this traffic coming from? And it's all coming from Google search. So I think that's something that's new-ish. I hadn't never saw it before. And I looked at the analytics for the past year, and our Google traffic for YouTube Shorts was like 5%. In the past month, it's almost 60%. So it's a really huge bump, and I don't know if those people are actually viewing it on Google or if they're going to YouTube. And it's also like, in terms of using that information, I think the journey from like viewing a short that I make to landing on our website is not like that's a really low conversion experience. But in terms of just brand awareness, getting some new keyword traffic for our YouTube channel seems like a
Yeah.
good
I
opportunity.
I think it's been going on for a little while, the video tab.
The
Not
video
sure if
tab, yeah, but the
not
short
not
video.
sure yeah, not I'm not sure if that is new or not, but it's super interesting because regardless of that, you always see the result, and there were short like TikTok, YouTube, etc.
Yeah.
Short sometimes in the search results. So
Mhm.
it's just like okay, it's just like it's becoming so crowded, right? Like with all this type of content, kind of like okay, let's separate it. So that's what I'm saying about it. It's like everything is like expanding more. Like the SEO is not dying. It's
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
contrary, it's just kind of expanding
yeah, yeah.
to different like type of formats or type of content or etc. Right? So it's like on the contrary, it's just like actually today again like I don't know like 10 years ago you can dedicate yourself to a specific type of SEO. Just do Amazon SEO or short SEO or whatever it might be.
Yeah, I it's expanding, but it's also making, like, content people's jobs, like, so seems harder. Like, I feel like 10 years ago, you could say, "Okay, we're gonna start a blog, we're gonna do content clusters and pillars, we're gonna get SEO traffic," and that is, like, our path to conversion and growing traffic to the website, and now it's like Do you have a podcast? Do you have TikTok? Do you have all this stuff?
Yeah, omnichannel.
Yeah. All right. But that's enough complaining for me. I noticed on your agency website, SWATSEO.net, it's a great website, but it is just a one pager. So you are not doing any blog, any content SEO there. Why is that?
So there are like this is like a multiple answer question. One of those is I started the agency as a COVID measure, because I used to do only travel SEO before COVID. And then after COVID, I was like, okay, well, I need to do something. And it took me like maybe a year and a half to actually get to the SEO agency to actually say, okay, I'm going to do that. But before that, I was doing like some SEO for some clients and some like something for someone, etc. Like email marketing, different things. I did different things. And and when I started the agency, it was kind of like, let me see where can I go with this, right? And I was like, got one client, then got another, again, was got started with Tweet Hunter and Tableau, and then it became like Submagic and all these other like AI SaaS amazing, where we had like amazing experiences. But I was too busy, like I was just me getting started, right? Like so that initial moment is like, should I focus on creating the website or should I focus on getting my client this result? And I decided to do it second. And at some point, like talking with people, everything was I did have like a name for the agency, but it was another name. I don't want to tell it because then people go to that other website. But I had like another name, and it was like an old idea, and it didn't work. So, but when I got started working with all these crazy startup, crazy fast and amazing people. That's what I mean by crazy and crazy ideas. Uh, is that I realized that I was always coming up with this term that is SWAT SEO, because what we did is like, okay, we have like a mission with these guys. We need to blah in X amount of time. How do we do that? And we will try to reverse engineer that and say, okay, we need like two writers, one technical SEO, and one blah blah blah. And then we started doing that. So that term came like, from conversation like this one. I was like talking with a potential client. I say like, we will put like a SWOT SEO thing. Anyhow, I got started doing that, and I was like more using that concept in my newsletters and with the social. I started like people understand it really fast, and then I was like, okay, this is working. Now let me create a landing page. So I created like a I think at the beginning it was like a Google Doc, so you would put like the thing, and it was an iframe with a Google Doc and the offer, and then I changed it to another one, and then I changed it to this one, and I don't like any of those, and I'm working on a new one. But we are not doing SEO because we don't need it. That's basically the response. But we do it, but it's not on that website also. So that's what I'm like. It's a multiple answer question.
Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense. I want to talk real quick about newsletters versus blogs because you have a newsletter, you write there quite often.
Yeah.
What do you see as sort of the main difference in those two formats? And if a founder has a small team, they don't have like a dedicated content team, they're just starting off with a SaaS with a co-founder, maybe solo, and they want to get content out there, should they be thinking about a blog versus a newsletter, in your opinion?
There are different mediums, right? Like different formats. Is what I In a blog, you when you write a blog, you're thinking about all the people that is going to read it. But when you write a newsletter, it's like you're talking with one person. And actually, the communication, even though it's one to many, is like you're communicating with that one person. So you kind of want to have that direct relationship. In a blog, it's that I'm blogging for the world. So this is the main. I would say like the main angle, the main difference. If I recommend one or the other, I mean, you can do both, right? Like, you can post like your newsletters in a blog. I don't recommend it though, but that's that could be one of the answers. I think direct direct marketing is very important in nurturing your audience, understanding it, communicating with it. And a blog won't give you that. A blog will give you like some people, oh, they vote or they didn't vote, right? Like at the end of the day, what do you want? So I think like newsletter make a lot of sense. Even if a tiny percentage of your newsletter convert, that's going to be more valuable because they know you, they know how you think, they know what you're selling, they know your angles, etc. And they get to relate easier than a blog, also because like a newsletter, you're talking on a personal level. If this is what you're meaning, I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I'm just I'm sort of just struggling with this idea because on the one hand, it seems like you can do both. Like if you use Substack, we have a Substack newsletter for Paralect, and you can pay a fee and have it hosted on your own domain, and it shows up on your as a subdomain as pages there, like blog pages. But the interesting thing is, I don't think I've ever seen a Substack newsletter show up on the first page of a SERP for any keyword or topic that I've searched for. And I know that there are people writing very insightful, very detailed, well-researched Substacks on, like, I'm into running and cycling. Like, there are people pouring out amazing knowledge for free there about training and probably in travel too. But, the first hits are like random Reddit discussions that are thin, like they're just random, like non-experts in that topic discussing what they think on Reddit. So, what do you think's going on there? Why do newsletters seem to get the shaft? I've seen Medium pages there, but in terms of like Beehive or Substack, I've almost never seen them get high in a SERP.
Hmm. I have no idea. So I think that no, it's interesting because maybe you're uncovering an angle. Probably when you it's that's what I was trying to say, that the formats are different. It's like when you write an email, a newsletter, you're not going to title it in an SEO way, for example. You're going to write a hook. So it's a total different angle than the SEO, and that's part of the reason why they don't like show up a lot. You can like I used to have a Substack in Spanish, and I did think about this, and what I did is like I used to send a newsletter, and I will correct the title, and it will start ranking, not a lot, but it will. Because the format is totally different, and what you talk about in a newsletter is totally different. But what you're saying is interesting because what you're saying is that there is a lot of by the way, I love Substack, the Substack platform and the environment, and it's like I can spend it's like a wonderful I don't know, like a new fresh version of X, let's say, where it's very intellectual, it's very like there's a lot of artists, a lot of philosophy, there's a lot of interesting things going on there. um and maybe that's a way to connect better with more people, and then or maybe to bring data to the SEO world if you want. So I don't know. um uh, I don't know if that like it's just more like a rumination on the topic than an answer, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But let's stick with Reddit. Do you have a Reddit strategy now that Reddit seems like so prioritized in Google? Do you try and go there and, repurpose your content for that platform so that I know, I don't know, like, you can add a link to your site in some cases to the Reddit post. If it takes off, you can go back and edit it and maybe get some traffic from that. Is that something that you've played with at all?
no.
Nope. Do you just hate Reddit or just don't think about it?
No, no, no. I love
Oh,
Reddit,
okay.
but I don't. I kind of like. I love it so much that I don't like doing that. So, for example, I don't know. It's one of those like little corners of the world where it's like this is so nice here, Same as with Substack. It's like I can talk with real people and all of that, and with getting like thoughtful, understanding of certain topics. So I really don't. I don't collaborate to that noise. I know a lot of people that do a lot of money doing that. But there's also there it's risky, So if I go today and I see like one of my competitors there, I just go and denounce the comment or whatever, and I just I can like this happened to one of our clients. They used to depend on one of those, and some beef happened with someone and they got reported, and from one day to the other they wipe out like 10K 15K MRR by doing that. So it's also risky. So uh yeah, there's that. It's just like comments on the industry.
Interesting. Okay. Let's get back to your SWAT SEO service. You start out with an audit. What do you look for when you start working with a new client to get a clear view of how their site is performing?
So we try to do, all these people that say, let's go for the low hanging fruit, right? So of course we do the SEO audit, technical audit, but we on top of that we do what we call a content audit, which not a lot of people do. But what we do is like the technical SEO is kind of easy nowadays. It's just like, okay, we have like this WordPress and we have these issues, and you send it to the dev and they will solve it. But the content is different because most of the clients don't have like they didn't have a sort of content strategy or content architecture, what I was talking about at the beginning. So we noticed that with every client we go in, we build like a topical map, editorial calendar, and we start like rewriting and rewiring everything, and we will get results like very fast. So one example is one competitor of yours. We did like a rewiring and rewriting of their whole website, and they went from 100K to 300K in 1 month just by doing that, the same content. So it's a very thorough process because we review every little thing. So I think what most people don't understand about SEO is that it's not, people think about SEO like a machine, like something that you can like, yeah, like let me put out there 100,000 pages and see what ranks. And that can work. And you had fun like with the technical things and you put it out there. And then maybe you start like getting from that 100K, 10K of those pages get indexes. And then like 1K of those pages get some traffic. And then what, like math came. But from my experience, like some of my travel guys, I wrote them like 10 years ago or more, and they still get like 500K per year without me doing anything. I haven't done anything to those websites. So it's like a total different game when you go into the details, when you connect things right, when you do the topical map. It's just crazy. So this is what we do basically. And I think it's the reason why we get such a good rap basically. We get recommended like 60% of our clients come from word of mouth. That's great. Yeah, yeah. With some of these like complex clients, I do the same that you do. Like I use a mirror to understand how I'm going to organize that structure. I validate it with the industry leader, with the person, with the client, and then we go to the sheet. So basically, we think about the topics first, and then we go into that, and then we try to map it everything like the classic silo structure. It doesn't like really differs much. It's like you get like a pillar page where everything is contained there, like for that topic, and then that topic is interconnected in a way that is usually just easy, just like common sense. So, if you have like a museums in blah blah blah, let's say I have museums in Paris. There are plenty of museums in Paris, and then there are the weird ones. So maybe you have like museums in Paris, and maybe you have the weird museums in Paris, and then under that you have like the connection of all these weird museums, the sex museum, the erotic museum, whatever, the mystery, the murder museum. There are like plenty of weird museums. So that's a way we do it. And you just are you going to connect the weird with the contemporary ones or the classic one? No, it doesn't make sense. For the reader, it doesn't make sense. The reader knows the other ones exist. Um, but are you going to point someone from the main page of the museum to the weird one? Yes. So that's kind of like the thought process that goes behind it is more about the reader and your business.
Let's wrap up. We're almost out of time, but let's wrap up a little bit with AI and what do you think about the future. So we've talked a lot about content. You've mentioned a few like times how much to make, but what are your thoughts about using AI predominantly to write the actual content? How much of a human touch does it need so that Google doesn't like hate it and that readers don't hate it? What's your thoughts there?
So I always try to, like, regardless of my thought, I just try to go to the data, right? There's like these. There are plenty of studies on this. I don't have the expertise to do these studies, so I trust the experts on this and the people that have the big data, because I don't have access to that. What you see is like there's like a classic like graphic, from Patel that say like how long like the amount of traffic that one article brings you, written with AI and written manually. Okay. And the difference is like huge. It's like, I don't know, like 10 times more traffic with the written one than the other one. The reason, I don't know the reason. I really don't know. I cannot tell you why that happens, but it's a fact. It's data. It's a data point. I've seen it in these like examples of like, yeah, let's do 10,000 articles, and then out of those 10,000, 1,000 get some traffic, and then like only like three like really get the thing. So I think like a way I like thinking about this is like, how can I streamline my process to scale but also bring traffic? I don't want to scale for the sake of scale. So that's why Swift Brief exists, is because it's so easy to create a brief and it has so many valid data points that is stupid not to do it. Okay. So it's stupid not to do an SEO brief before writing the content. Okay. Because then I get like, imagine we hire a doctor. A doctor doesn't know any SEO, and I actually don't want them to know any SEO because I want them to bring whatever they have from their knowledge. So what we do is like we give them the SEO brief. Here's the brief done with AI. We just need you to fill all this stuff, and then like if you have all the things that are not there, please add them. And then it's easier for a content writer, an expert in their topic, to write like this, and it's a lot easier than an SEO person trying to write like a doctor, you know, and that allows me or allows this client in particular to scale their medical content without hallucinations and without blah blah blah. So to go back to the writing, I dislike the how much hallucinations and things that are not factual appears there. I cannot deal with that. Can you imagine trying to correct a 10,000 or whatever it might be, 5,000 words article with all these hallucinations when you're not familiar with the industry, etc.? Fact check all of that. It's just great. It's more work than writing it or creating a process like this. And because I come from my background as a journalist, I really cannot deal with that. Like it's for me, it's not ethical, and it's I I don't like it. I use AI a lot to workflow. We use it for the AI for the SEO brief. We use it to the topic and map process. We created our own little tools to do faster work, for reporting, for analyzing data, analyzing customer tickets. We do a bunch of stuff with AI that makes our work a lot easier, faster, and it's a great tool.
Mhm. Sticking with ways to use AI, just what was it, yesterday or 2 days ago, 2 nights ago, if you're in Europe, OpenAI released this new image uh, generator.
Ghibli.
Yeah, 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 with the everybody's making anime for it, but, I look at that and I say, "Wow, that's gonna be really great to make, images for blog posts." Do you think that, Google will not like that? Or people will not like that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of people that are, very angry at this move. But that has been going on. I mean, Midjourney did it. You could do it before. It's just like now it's like a standard or more easier to do
Yeah.
it.
The thing that I really like about this new version is not the anime. I'm not like jumping on that, but it's the ability to add text that actually looks decent, and so you can make main images with the title of your blog post that isn't just like AI gibberish language,
Yeah.
and it actually looks nice. So I'm looking forward to that. All right,
Yeah, I don't. I
go
don't
go
think.
ahead.
I don't think there's gonna be like any backlash to the images side of things from Google. It might be like on maybe intellectual property kind of thing. Maybe it has other downsides, but I don't know. I don't know if that like it's just too massive to actually become a thing.
Yeah. Let's wrap up with AI search. Do you have any expectations for that? We talked about this a little bit in the beginning, but from what I've read from you and other experts in SEO, basically, if you do well with content and website SEO, you will also do well in AI SEO. Is that basically the consensus now?
Yeah. Also, brand mentions.
Mhm.
A lot of that actually happen in the background. So, yeah, it seems so. Like it's you cannot say like what's going to happen in the future. We're just getting along and enjoying the ride. But I cannot tell you like what's going to happen. I don't know. So far, I just can say like there's plenty of SEO opportunities. There's a lot to be done that hasn't been done. There's like the massive. I think like what people are not seeing is that there's like a massive amount of opportunity that yet open up, and not on the content side of things, but on the creation side of things. So you can like now spin off like a new tool, a new product, develop like your own app. All of that is happening, and then you're going to need a lot of eyes, and there are going to be plenty of new ideas that are going to be like people didn't have the chance because we didn't have the medium. So once they like nobody has been solving that thing on search, and now people know like blah blah AI generator, blah blah AI generator, all these wrappers thing. So there's plenty of opportunities to get on Google that are new, and there's like a lot of mix of business and search volume that is there, doesn't have a good solution, and there's plenty of opportunity.
Awesome. All right, Flavio, this has been a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much. And in the links below, you will find links to Flavio's X, the Ranking Cash newsletter, SWAT SEO. Please send me the school link. I'll put it in there as well.
I will.
Thank you so much, Flavio. We recorded this on a Friday, so have a lovely weekend.
You too,
And
man.
I appreciate your
This
time.
has been great, man. Thank you so much. And yeah, for the people that are hearing or seeing this, feel free to DM me or send me an email or whatever. I respond to everyone.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, cheers. Ship it and
Cheers.
sip it, everybody.
Ciao. Salute.